On July 19, 2027, among millions of data collected from the Liminal Space Telescope, humanity's farthest observation station, orbiting the Moon in its second orbit, an unusual signal made the team stand still. Not a gamma explosion, not a neutron star or any known object, but a dark area, moving. Initially, the simplest hypothesis was given. Maybe it was a dense cosmic dust, or a dark object like dense dark matter, or even a mini black hole. But just a few hours later, the spectrum analysis results showed completely unusual things. There is no unusual gravity. If it is a black hole, it must attract around, but the neighboring space is still strangely flat. Does not emit any electromagnetic waves. There is no infrared light, ultraviolet, gamma, radio, just an absolutely still region. Does not reflect light. The stars behind it disappear completely when it passes. It does not exist in the way that ordinary matter exists. While the analysis team has not yet stopped arguing, another event happened. By orbital measurements, the liminal control team determined that the dark plate did not drift by inertia like other natural bodies. It constantly adjusts the direction of movement, like orienting itself. All theories of natural causes are gradually refuted. Not affected by the nearby gravitational field. Does not depend on the initial velocity of any celestial body. Able to avoid areas with high material density. Those calculated movements lead to a bold hypothesis to be mentioned. It could be a form of life. A form of life that we have never known. No visible body, no atom, no organic biology. In the following days, liminal and ground observatories simultaneously recorded the cosmic background wave frequencies, CMB, which are almost uniform everywhere, are drained as the dark array passes by, as if it is eating energy from space-time. Ultra-sensitive gravity measuring devices show that the space near the dark plate is bent, but this degree of bending does not correspond to normal mass, but is more like a quantum effect. That phenomenon has never been observed. A empty region bends space-time, not by gravity, but by directly interacting with the quantum structure of the universe. The most worrying? The dark array does not wander randomly. It is moving in an almost straight orbit to the solar system, with increasing velocity, indicating that it is aware of the target. When drawing the predicted trajectory, the analysis team came to a shudder conclusion. If nothing changes, it will reach the Earth within 120 days. We are facing an entity, not matter, not ordinary energy. A living energy system, capable of sensing, moving, and acting on the basic structure of the universe. For the first time in history, humanity is forced to admit, maybe life does not only exist in biological form. Maybe space-time itself also has its own forms of intelligence. When darkness approaches, fear is no longer a distant thing, but has become a touchable reality. Operation Sentinel is launched. On July 25, 2027, just 6 days after the first discovery, the United Nations made a historic decision, establishing Operation Sentinel, a global effort to monitor, analyze, and, if necessary, respond to this unprecedented threat. The great powers no longer argue about borders or interests. Darkness has made people unite. For the first time in history, humanity stands on the same front line, against a shapeless, emotionless entity, but can destroy them all. Based on the hypothesis that this is a life form, scientists decided to try sending a series of communication signals. Radio waves in many different frequency bands. Extremely powerful laser pulse from the observation station on the Moon. Neutrino signals. Extremely small particles, extremely difficult to block by matter. Signal samples include basic laws of physics, e.g. sequence of prime numbers, periodic table structure, map of the Earth's position in the Milky Way, the image of people. We held out our hands, but will the one in the dark catch it, or will he bite it off? 48 hours after the signal was broadcast, everything changed. The dark array suddenly slowed down. Its orbit shifts slightly, as if it is looking towards the Earth, then begins to emit inexplicable oscillations in the surrounding space. Sensors measure microfluctuations in space-time structures. The background energy field around the Earth is distorted, forming a response wave. But what makes the entire control room speechless? A signal goes back. Not the sound, not light, but a small tear in space-time, opened in geostationary orbit. A door, no, a crack, was created. But is it the entrance to understanding, or the gate of destruction? In the face of this strange signal, the Sentinel Campaign Council divided into two factions. The Contact faction believes that this is the only opportunity to communicate and learn about other higher life in the universe. The Defense warns, contact with a life form that we do not understand can end in destruction. During the 72-hour debate, a series of questions were raised. Does this entity have intelligence? Does it come out of curiosity, to help, or to invade? Are we really capable of fighting if things get out of control? The decision to point to life and extinction is a fragile choice. Finally, the decision was made. An automatic exploration team will be sent through the rift to collect data. A small unmanned ship, carrying sensors, cameras, and quantum communication systems, programmed to return by itself within 4 hours or self-destruct if a danger is detected. The launch date is set, July 31st, 2027. But no one knows. What awaits them beyond that door is beyond all imagination. When the door opens, you don't just look into the darkness, but the darkness is also seeing through you. When the expedition went into darkness, all the laws of physics that we knew began to disintegrate. The Prometheus I probe, named after the person who stole the divine fire for mankind, was launched in suffocating silence. For hours to collect data. For hours to face the unprecedented in human history. As soon as I approached the stretch mark, something strange happened. The physical parameters change abnormally. The speed of light decreases to 99% of the normal value. Time inside and outside the ship begins to drift. The phenomenon of time expansion is the same as near a black hole. But most frighteningly, the sensor system detects an body moving inside the darkness. Prometheus I recorded the first image. Not a creature with a stable shape. A dark block oscillates, constantly changing its structure, like a giant neural network, constantly elastic and emits energy impulses. Not a machine, not a creature, but a form of non-material intelligence. Scientists give it a temporary name, Entity Liminal, Threshold Entity. And then, an unprecedented event happened. The quantum signal from Prometheus I was interrupted for only 37 minutes, much earlier than expected. The probe is missing. When you look into the abyss also looks back at you. Only 6 hours later, a strange electromagnetic wave was detected at 3 different observatory stations. A 3-dimensional spatial map. Extremely large data series in the form of binary code. The initial decoding reveals a shocking truth. Entity Liminal is trying to communicate, but the content is not a greeting, nor a threat, but a warning. The crude message line is reconstructed as follows. Do not stop, continue, assimilate, or become extinct. We are not the ones looking for. We are just targets in an endless journey. Scientists have a headache with the following hypotheses. Is Entity Liminal a part of the cosmic ecosystem, where life is based on energy instead of matter? Or is it the last product of an ancient civilization, now only left as instinctively self-cloning throughout the universe? If so, is the Earth simply a transit station in that endless chain of evolution? We send a signal into space. But perhaps, from the beginning, we are the signal that needs to be read. When the darkness calls your name, you can't hide. You can only face, or be swallowed. On August 5, 2027, after deciphering 92% of the data from Entity Liminal, a terrible truth was revealed. This entity is not just a creasing, it is a process. A cosmic nervous system wanders, looking for background energy sources to assimilate into itself. Worse, the Earth, with its strong magnetic field, abundant atmosphere, and abundant life, is the next treasure it aims for. Not invasion, but the assimilation of the whole, each atom, each memory. The Sentinel Campaign Council offers a unique plan. Using a gravitational weapon, a prototype device creates an extremely powerful artificial gravitational field, simulating a small black hole. Objective: attract Entity Liminal away or imprison it in an isolated space-time region. This device, code Gate 1, is being secretly tested at the Lagrange L5 station, one of the balance points between the Earth's gravity and the Moon. When you create an artificial black hole, you only have one chance. If it fails, the entire solar system may collapse. On August 11, 2027, the Gate 1 campaign was launched. When Entity Liminal is only 1.2 million kilometers away from Earth, Gate 1 activates. A gravitational field suddenly explodes, bending space-time around the entity. Entity Liminal immediately reacts. transforming the structure into billions of small energy fibers, pedaling against the pole. The scene recorded from the telescopes. An area of the sky is pitch black. The cosmic rays of light are drawn into demonic spirals. It is no longer science. It's a battle between survival instinct and survival desire. In 17 minutes of extreme stress, Gate 1 operates at maximum power. Finally, the Entity Liminal entity is pulled away from the approach to the Earth, flying out of orbit. But Gate 1 also collapsed on its own, turning into an unstable singularity, condensing at the Lagrange point, a permanent wound on the gravity map of the solar system. Although the Earth narrowly escaped danger, scientists understand that Entity Liminal has not been destroyed. It is only pushed away and can completely come back. Worse, the sensors detected that in the moment Gate 1 was in operation, a small part of the entity was in time to fragment, falling into the space layer near the Earth's orbit. We have pushed back the darkness, but it has left a seed in the heart of this world. And one day, when humanity is no longer on guard, it will rise. The screen is dark. Only the sound of radio waves is gradually disturbing. Suddenly, an intermittent beep sounded. The voice of the singer's voice is on duty, hoarse, urgent. We discovered anomalies at the bottom of the ocean. The water temperature increases abnormally in an area where there is no geological activity. The magnetic field fluctuates unstably. Something is growing, and it absorbs all forms of contact energy. A tense silence.